Alright, what the fuck's going on, everybody? Oh, I can hear myself think. Fuck. Oh, I hate fucking bank cards. Trying to find the fucking bank card every fucking morning. God. That's nuts. I don't like this view. Thanks to just cut my hair too short. Fucking bullshit. Anyways, what's going on? Oh, I'm a tit. I care too much about my looks and my appearance. Not every day, but most days. Trying to get over that. Slowly but surely getting over it. Yeah, so I made my first podcast episode in like, I don't know, fucking 2 months probably. Well, yeah, maybe that. Maybe a month and a half, something like that. And all it was my 3 last episodes from YouTube put on there. And I know I've said it before because I've been asked, why do I do that? And it's because, well, there's some people that don't go on YouTube and they just go to iTunes or iHeartRadio or Dropbox or Google Podcast or Apple iTunes or Apple Podcast or the many other platforms that is used that my shit goes to because of Spreaker. One of the reasons I like Spreaker because they offer a free podcasting and you can send it to all those places. But when you're doing the free one, I think actually even if you're paying for whatever, you have to have at least 5, I think, to get on Apple Podcasts and or iHeartRadio, something to that effect. But I mean, at least they offer you one for free to try it out to see if you can actually build up a following. Now, whether you actually get people to find you during the free one for 15 minutes, who knows? It's kind of like YouTube in that sense. YouTube lets you start off by videotaping yourself for 15 minutes for free, uploading a show, you need a free account, so on and so forth. But, you might be better to pay for a YouTube Premium or something like that if you really want YouTube to take you seriously. And actually, because if you're paying them, well, then they're more likely to let you make some money via the service. I got the wrong fucking glasses today. That's why I look so stupid. I got my wife's glasses. Oh, that's how much I care. I guess I don't care that much about my appearance. I guess it depends. But anyways, the point I'm trying to get at is, and maybe I'll associate a picture with it or put a picture here, but I've got this month, for the last month period. Now the month prior to this I made $20. I got that payment, I don't know when, so I know it's been over a month, but for the last month I haven't made an episode at all. People have been watching my stuff, but it's been the lowest impressions and requests, and that's what the ratio goes by, right? People request something, maybe it's the tags I associate with my episodes, which I really got to do that on YouTube. I've just been writing titles. Sometimes I don't even do that, and I just put the video on. But requests is always higher than impressions. Impressions are what may give you the ad revenue and or you make the money from. So whenever sorry, there's a bunch of traffic and construction in my fucking town. But anyways, when so the impressions and the requests are somebody looking for specific information, and impressions are basically probably how long they've lasted, or they stayed on there, or they actually watched the entire thing. Who knows? I don't know. I could read up about it, figure it out, but I don't care that much. However, what I do know is this month I was lower than ever. Now I had some fucking weeks where it was still like 290 some downloads, and other weeks where it was only like, I don't know, 100 downloads. I don't think I ever went lower than that, but I had some days where there was only like 3 downloads and whatnot. And when you're not making new episodes, well, there's nothing for the people that have been watching you to watch, and you're still going to get so many new people watching you. But anyway, so all I was getting was probably new people watching me, people coming and looking and seeing if I had anything new. No, okay, left, whatever. Who knows? But I still got $14 deposited in my account today, which is a little bit less than the 20 American I normally get, because that's only about 10 American. But still, it's still 14 fucking dollars, but that means if I continue my service, which I am, I've already paid for the service this month, because they're not stupid. They don't let it come directly out of that account. You got to pay them first. Like I said, you got to build up. You got to make your podcast has to go fast enough, because if every month they hold you back. It's kind of weird how it works, but they hold you back like 2 months. But when you start getting enough impressions, that within from the 1 month to the next month that you had more than $10 occurred in there, then you're golden. The way mine works is I normally have about $15 in there after every month cycle. So after, I think it was after about 3 or 4 months in a row of doing that, I was able to get a payment every fucking month. But if it took you like 2 months to get a payment, well then you would be waiting every like 2 months to get a payment, something to that effect. Holy fuck, the pool's open here. No shit. Well, it's not open. I think they're practicing safe fucking social distancing. How are you going to do social distancing in a fucking public pool? Like, everybody's in the same water. Your spit's going in that water. Like, if coronavirus is a real fucking thing and our spit contains the virus, then that's the worst thing to fucking do. Your pores can absorb it. Everything can absorb it. It's on your body. You get some in your mouth. You get some in your nose. There's no way around it. Your body absorbs more water through your pores than you drink. Like, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. These people are so stupid. They're preaching one thing and they're doing another thing behind their back, and they have no fucking idea about any of the information. They have no idea. They think if you just stay 6 feet apart, you're safe from the fucking virus. Or if you're in a pool with a mask, you're safe from the virus. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You guys are a bunch of numbnuts. Like, fuck. Stupidest thing ever. Oh my god. Oh, the chlorine will kill it. Chlorine will kill it. Okay. Good luck with that shit. Good luck with that shit. Fuck. Shit. There's chlorine in our fucking drinking water. If chlorine killed it. Anyways, I'm not even gonna bother. Alright? Anyways, so yeah, so if you are thinking about getting into digital content and whatever, I am an advocate for Spreaker. I like Spreaker. I think Spreaker is an awesome platform to start at because it's not your face. It's just audio, and it distributes it to so many platforms, including now all these different ones wherever you can get songs and music from that it goes to. But then you also have YouTube, Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, all these other places where you can connect your Spreaker account that whenever you make an episode, it automatically goes to. So it's fucking awesome. There's no, hey, it's not the same day. I'm just wearing the same shit. No. It's not even the same shirt if you look at the previous. It's not even the same glasses. But anyways, yeah, so if you're getting into digital content or you want to get into this talking about, anything, it doesn't have to be spirituality. If you want to talk about spirituality, that's cool too. You should. Especially if you've had success, you should most certainly talk about your spirituality. But nonetheless, nonetheless, I'd say Spreaker is a good route to go. But even if you're planning on if you want to do this, but you're not sure how to start, if you're a little nervous about starting, whatever the case may be, start writing. Start writing your thoughts down. See if you have good content that you would like. You're going to be biased towards your own stuff. We all are. All right? We're all biased towards our own shit. All right. Fuck, it's construction bullshit. Anyways, yeah, we're all biased towards our own crap. We always are. But there's still a meter there, because whenever I do a good episode that I think is good anyways, I can't wait to listen to it. And if my wife wants me to do some bullshit with her, I don't mean that though, on a wall, I kind of do. But, fuck. If she wants me to do some shit with her and I am in the middle of watching my show or about to watch my show, and it's a really good one, or so I think it is, because there's something in there that I said that, and that's what I mean, the meter for me, the thing for me that tells me whenever I have a good episode or not, is if I'm saying the stuff my conscious mind knows, okay, whatever, maybe people need to know it, but, but if I get into something that actually I didn't know yet, and then I put it together during that show, which is what happens when you write, by the way, or do it this way. You got to start somewhere. You got to start writing, because until you feel comfortable, until you know you're talking to an audience, you're going to feel stupid, and that's how most people feel. They feel stupid. They feel stupid until they talk to an audience. They feel like an idiot because they don't know if anybody's actually listening to them or not. So they feel like they're just talking to a camera, and they don't feel the people on the other line. Whereas right now, I know I'm recording. I know I'm like talking to myself. People are looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy doing talking to himself? Maybe he's on the phone, maybe not. But I know people are going to watch this. I don't have much of a following, but on everything from speaker, I have 5 followers. But once again, that's 95% of my viewers aren't subscribed to me. So I know there's like whatever that 5% is 5 followers, then, you know, you can do that math and figure out how many other people are listening to me on Spreaker. Then on YouTube, I've got 31, you know, so there's at least 31 people that are going to probably eventually see this stuff. Plus, once again, YouTube is something like, I think it's changed now. I think it's like 89% of my people aren't followers, but still, that means 11% is 31 followers, which is actually a better percentage than Spreaker, which is great. And then, you know, Instagram, I got like 90 some followers, but Instagram is probably the easiest place to get followers. And then on Tumblr, everything goes to Tumblr. I don't know how many I got there. I want to say 17, 18. And then on Facebook, I don't have much, but, you know, it's reaching people. I'm not trying to get people on Facebook because, unfortunately, the way Facebook works, as soon as your hometown's in there, which I should take that off, but every time I take that off, it wants to cancel me, delete my account. So it's like I need to have that on there for some fucked up reason. But anyways, it's trying to generate people that it knows me, because I know these people and they know me, but I don't want them. They're trying to add me, and I don't want them to be added to me. And it's nothing personal against them. I like these people, but when you have a name like Ceremonial Witch and then last name is Craft, it's fucked up, you know? People are gonna be like, what the fuck's going on? And it's not that I'm embarrassed of what I do. I'm not embarrassed of what I do. I don't give 2 fucks about what I do. I know what I'm doing is the right thing, and I know they're fucking not doing the right thing, or maybe they are, and that's why they're trying to follow me. They're actually into this stuff, and the only way I can find that out is if I actually looked it up. But, or if I actually accepted them, but at the risk, because like a few of the people, their kids go to school with my oldest, and some of the other ones know my mom and my sister. I don't need my mom and my sister or my kids being hounded or hassled. Like, your dad does some pretty weird shit, eh? Like, what is he, the devil worshiper? Is he a Luciferian? Oh, they call me a Luciferian, I wouldn't be that insulted. But devil worshiper is just stupidity. And, you know, if anybody ever read the qliphoth and shit like that, you kind of know what they're aiming at. Now, I guess it's all on your interpretation, but so far, what I gather, and this is what I got basically the first time, but the first time I was a little more polarized when I was doing it, and a little less this time, but, you know, it's basically God has been anthropomorphized, has been personified within us. We all think we're gods and shit like that, and the spirituality and New Age is really, really amping that up. But the only way to get God, or to become a god first, is to, like, this is not completely accurate, but to kill your personification almost. To kill what the religions, the Christianity has done to people thinking that God is within us, God's going to save us, and all this crap. You got to kill that programming somehow. And that's how I look at it. You got to kill these thought forms we've created around us. You got to kill all that shit so you can start from afresh. So when you go through the tree of death, when you go through the qliphoth, I think it depends on you. I think it depends on your programming. Now, I've changed programming myself already, so I don't necessarily need to do this going by my own judgment, but nonetheless, I'm doing it anyways. I'm gonna do all 10 sephirods of the qliphoth just to see what the fuck happens. I'm gonna go through those dark realms of the abyss in the underworld and make myself up to the surface. And but basically the way I look at it is it's very similar to your whole year of doing a neophyte, of depolarization. Because until you're completely depolarized, there's no way you can do the other 10 or 12 sephirods, or it depends on where you look. But there's no way you can do the kabbalah sephirods when you're polarized. And most people are not going to want to wait the time, and they're going to just start doing those sephirods, and then they're going to have life experience after life experience happen to them. So if you do an extra 10 before you even get to the tree of life, by doing the tree of death, well, then you're going to be so much more balanced, so much better depolarized, that you'll be a fucking star. Problem is when people start looking into the qliphoth and they start planting their flag in some place where they realize Christianity has dominated forever, and has suppressed star knowledge or suppressed us or whatever. They ended up planting their flag there, and they realize, oh, they do have some power already, and they can change things. So then they do start changing things. But, you know, they didn't finish the process, and then eventually when they run out of that power and they don't understand why, yet they kind of already know why, it's because they didn't finish what they started, and they decided to start judging people instead of being depolarized and balanced. Well, that's where you get problems. But you have that also in the Kabbalah. If someone starts the Kabbalah and doing those sephirods and doing pathworking, and they get stuck on it somewhere, you know, maybe it's on Bina, on the Saturn, right? Right? Where they're realizing their restrictions and they don't like it, or they realize where Saturn's been restricting them. Once they get past that, they become a star, but then they don't finish the rest. You know what I mean? Then, you know, the same problem can arise. And once again, if someone starts pathworking, doing Kabbalah from a non-depolarized state, and they think they're depolarized, yet you bring up politics and they fucking go ape shit, or they bring up, or you bring up religion and you're completely against Christianity, but the rest of the religions they can be depolarized too. It's like, well, then you're not depolarized, because it's still a religion. And it still has to be understood from a grounded, same plane. If you think one religion is all bad, even if you think Satanism is a thing and people are eating babies out there, if you think that's all bad, then you're mistaken, because there's nothing that is all bad in this world. Doesn't matter how much bad outcomes come of something, there's nothing that's all bad in this world. And in the same sense, there is nobody eating babies. I'll tell you that right now. You can say, but I saw. If you saw anything on the internet of people eating fucking babies, it's fucking fake. No one's going to let you tape them eating babies. And anybody who would really do a ritual like that, a real ritual, where they would do that for whatever gains, would be smart enough to know that that is a sacred right. Even though I'm not saying eating babies is a sacred right. I got 4 kids. I wouldn't dream of eating them. But nonetheless, it's a sacred right. And you'd be offering that to some, obviously demonic force is what we would all say, but some deity that wouldn't want people knowing about this, and you'd want to continue. So the stupidest thing to do would be to record it and put it on the internet. Nonetheless, the point of this is just, I don't even think the qliphoth, I don't even know why I got on the qliphoth, you know, what you intake comes out. So I mean, I went to sleep with the fucking book on last night. I don't know, that might be problematic, but see, that's programming talking, thinking the qliphoth is bad, but it's not. Some people think it's bad, but it's not actually a bad thing. It's just you go into the underworld when you start this path. I don't care how you look at it. Whether you're doing Kabbalah, whether you're doing witchcraft, whatever you're doing, you go into the underworld. And if you don't, then you're not doing it right. But this is a metaphor for killing your personification. Because how else would you explain what the process is when you're going into initiation of becoming a witch, of becoming a shaman, of becoming a fucking magician, ceremonial or otherwise, of becoming anything? Well, what has to happen? You can't use your personification anymore. Corey LeBlanc is still a thing. Yes, it's still the guy who talks to my family and all that shit. But when I'm doing magic, I don't have that. I'm trying to take on personifications of deities. I need them to take on my subconscious mind. You know what I mean? So I have to greet them from a depolarized state. The Corey LeBlanc that I used to know, that used to exist, is not worthy of being in front of a fucking deity, of anything like that. And once again, I know all deities are not exactly real. They're fucking probably most likely somewhere between thought forms and an ancestor, like a sphere in the sky that we've anthropomorphized. And just because we have 7 that we can see with the naked eye, and then another fucking 3 after that we can see with a telescope, but that isn't too far, doesn't mean we don't have more deities. And at one time there wasn't more deities. So just because if one doesn't fit one of those narratives, or if you're trying to make it fit to those, you don't have to. It's okay. Like I said, there's lots of stars up there that we can see with our naked eye that are so much further than those planets we're talking about. So to know if they're planets or not, and to know if they have an effect on us, well, I'm sure they all have an effect on us. Just the ones that are closer, probably more so. And that's why, you know, we do what we do with astrology and all that. But I believe the Pleiadians have a big effect on me. You know what I mean? And if people believe the reptilians are from, what's it called? I can't remember their star system, but it's pretty fucking far away. But a reptilian brainstem, nonetheless, is pretty fucking damn close to us, right? So who the fuck knows? But there's no point in dissing anybody's religion. Whether you think someone doing the dark Kabbalah is bad, well, what happens when you finish the 10 Sephirah of Kabbalah and the Great Work of Self-Transformation and you're not satisfied? It might not be you. It might not be you. But what happens when you do finish it? See, I'm not technically doing these 10 Sephirah right now. I'm reading about it to learn about it. I'm doing my current curriculum because I started it and I don't believe I should stop and start doing the dark tree. But I'm going to do the dark tree after this. You're fucking goddamn right. There's no way I'm not going to. Because it's going to be part of my depolarization training. Take something that's considered dark and maybe even talk about it and make it into something that can be used and beneficial to everybody. Because I don't believe that dark magicians and baneful magicians use the qliphoth, and that's why they become unbalanced. Because from what I read so far, it's a way to balance yourself. All right, let me get this set back up, get a smoke lit, get back to channeling some info, I guess, eh? No, I'm not channeling shit. This is just the way the thoughts come from. Sorry about that. There's a bunch of traffic. Bad road to cross. But anyways, so. Come on, better go get some gas. Where's it going? Oh yeah, so the way people look at me when I got this on, right? And even the pentagram for that matter, and even this fucking ring now for that matter. I mean, I've heard people whisper like, "What the fuck? Is this guy for real? What the fuck? Is he Illuminati? What the fuck? He worships the devil?" Like, I've heard all that, and it don't matter to me. I laugh it off. But that's the kind of thing I don't want my kids and my wife to have to deal with, and even my mother or my sister. So, but they all say they don't care by adding me on the fucking Facebook. Like, Facebook is that important to add somebody that they need to add me just because I'm a family member, or else it feels weird. So whatever. But I told them, this is why I wanted to keep it secret, because I don't want this to happen to you. So we'll see if they're really real whenever it happens or not. And, you know, I'll just take all that animosity and energy and turn it into what I want again. But this is the same thing when it comes to qliphoth. Like the test I told you guys to do with the Illuminati, I'm straight up doing that. I am straight up not pretending, but using the personification, the thought form, the Illuminati. Everybody on the internet giving the Illuminati bad energy. Everybody on the internet giving them good energy. Everybody on the internet thinking that the royals, the elites, you know, because it depends on where you go. But some people think the Illuminati isn't like the presidents. They think it's straight up reptilians or aliens or whatever they think that is Satanism. But some people, when they first start off, think the Masons and the Illuminati are synonymous, the same thing. And, you know, it keeps going on, and eventually you start putting them into different little groups, but basically all the same little group. So everybody's putting that energy there. That's fucking just energy up for grabs. And if that energy is given freely to the governmental people and the top of the pyramid people just because they're at the top of the pyramid, well, fuck that. I'm going to use that to propel my ass up there. I don't give a shit. Now, I don't want to propel my ass up there just to be up there, but I want to propel myself up there to help my family first, myself first, then my family, then my extended family, then, you know, my fucking block, and then maybe my municipality, and then potentially my province, and then potentially my country, and then potentially, you know, my continent, you know, and then so on and so forth. And but I mean, that's probably way more than I could do in a lifetime. I'm pretty sure, like, by the time I hit Ontario, I'll be in my 80s. That's my province. So, you know, you got to do what you can do within the time you can do it. I'm already 5 years old. Am I going to live a long time? Fucking right. I'm going to live longer than most. But still doesn't mean you're going to have a lot of time to do all that shit. But once again, anyways, point is, I'm going to collect that energy. I'm going to use that energy to my fucking benefit because, well, why the fuck not? When you learn how energy works and you know that people are putting all this energy into this thought form, this title, if you take on that title, indirectly or directly, if you wear something and people, like, once again, it depends on how many people actually assume or think that I'm legitimately an Illuminati member. But there are other things I can do to grab that energy. So, but anyways, that's the same thing. I want to prove to myself, I guess, maybe to other people, I don't know. But I want to prove to myself that Illuminati doesn't exactly exist. But you can do spells and ritual and wear certain things to get people's minds to assume that maybe you are them, and then thus wise, if one mind that's connected to all the minds believes you're Illuminati, then all the minds can believe you're Illuminati, then all the minds can attribute that power that they're giving to the Illuminati to you. In theory, this is what scientists do. They have a theory. They say, in theory, if you can do this, technically you can do this. And then they test that theory. So that's what I'm fucking doing. I'm testing that fucking theory. And I'm doing the same thing with the qliphoth. I want to see, because I was told a while back, and it was actually Frederick Xavier that said it, there should be no baneful magicians. And he said, I think that further and said there is no adept baneful magicians. And he says because by, how did he say that? Well, anyways, he ends up saying, because they should have learned all this in the grade of water. He's like, but they learned from the qliphoth, which is the inverse of the tree of life, the tree of death. So there you go. And I just took that at his word, and I never looked into it until after one particular dark night of the soul, I looked into it, because I realized things that were dark isn't always a bad thing. And then it was just, holy fuck, eye-opening. So I looked into the qliphoth, and the first time around was hit and miss, because the author I was using was a very dark magician, but I just I'm rereading the same book, and I'm getting a whole different perspective. So I'm realizing more and more that it's not so much about their perspective, it's the perspective I've given them, especially with the written word, right? The written word, you don't know how they wrote that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the first time I was right and they are really dark. But maybe it's just the perspective that I attribute to them. Once again, comes back to what everybody's giving the Illuminati. I want that. It's up for grabs, so I'm going to take it. Because I don't see the fucking anybody else wearing something that says they're Illuminati. I'm not, and this doesn't say I'm Illuminati. It's just a triangle with a fucking eyeball in it. It's just a fucking piece of fucking stainless steel, this one. It's not even, but you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. As long as people believe what I want them to believe, then it's all good in the hood, everybody. It's all good in the hood. So anyways, that's a little bit about my current projects and what I'm trying to accomplish here. Fucking gonna pull over and fucking drop the fucking smoke in the car. Wife's gonna kill me if I put any burns on this new leather seats or even the carpet on the fucking floor. Even though she's leaving garbage all up in this bitch, letting the kids do whatever the fuck they want all up in this bitch. Like, fuck me, woman. Kettle calling pot black or whatever that fucking saying is. Basically calling something a hypocrite. But yeah, I'm gonna have to stop this. I'm doing it gas and stop the fucking car. Blah 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 blah. But anyways, I'll be back. Well, that was shorter than I thought. My hair's already still the same way. Bank was right here, big line up at the bank, so I might as well fucking record, right? Anyways, so that's my current projects. I had something else I wanted to talk about. I can't remember what. Oh yeah, the book I'm reading right now. Well, one out of two qliphoth books. There's one I'm listening to at work. There's one I'm actually reading. And I do both different books just for different reasons. No point in getting into it now, but when you read and when you hear, there's a different perspective attached to it. And I think it has something to do with the voice of Siri. So you got to make that bitch voice, guy, girl, whoever you attribute more neutral. If you think all women are evil demon bitches, then you might want to make Siri a guy. Even if you're a guy, it doesn't matter. Because if you hear her voice and, reminds you of something or whatever. So anyways, there's something about hearing a book that gives you a perspective along with it, whereas reading it is more your own and more imaginative. But anyways, I try to do every book a different way, and I try to, if I read the book a second time, do the opposite way, as long as you don't always remember. But anyways, it was talking about how in Acadia, at first, it's some of the civilization before the flood or the cataclysm or whatever it was. And they say the Sumerian texts say that there definitely was some fighting between two fucking whatever, and if there was any Egyptian books about it, they didn't survive because there's none left in Egypt itself, but in some other places where the Hebrews were, they might have had those texts. It's a little iffy there, because then later on they say something else I've also come to kind of agree with, was that the Hebrews just kind of started making up things, like trying to get Yahweh in there, or trying to get their God in there back, trying to create monotheism. So it is what it is. But nonetheless, I was saying in Acadia they were called the Anuma. I forget what that word is. The next one is in Sumer, Babylonian, Mesopotamia, it was Anunnaki. And then later on, the Christians called it the Gregori. And I was like, holy fuck. And if you're new to me, then you won't know, but there's something I talked about, I don't even know, 4 or 5 months ago. And then even prior to that, like probably close to a year ago, I had an episode about it, how Enoch, Archangel Metatron turned into Enoch. Noah was Enoch's son. He created an ark, like the archangel, right? And Anunnaki, Enochian, it's all connected, is what I said. I said all these things are connected. It's probably one and the fucking same. Because Anunnaki doesn't mean aliens. I mean, it can, because it means something about the heavens, like men from the sky, or sky beings, or heavenly bodies, or heavenly beings, whatever you want to call it. But the Anunnaki are people think they're people that created slaves, and we're here just for mining. And guess what? If those are the real fucking gods that the Christian Bible is trying to demonize, well, guess what? You're going around saying that the real creator, the real ones who created you, are really a bunch of slave owners, and they hate you, and they created you just for slaves. And that fucking story sounds fake from the moment I fucking heard it. And the moment I heard it was a long time ago, and I never bought into it. And I still don't buy into that bullshit. I don't know how many people buy that, and to each their own. I'm not going to say it's not true. How the fuck can I know? But it just doesn't feel right, you know? Ever have something that just doesn't feel right? It doesn't make any sense. This whole gold trade fucking thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyways, and I'm not saying those are real gods. I'm not saying that's who made us. I'm saying if it is, and you're calling them that. But, you know, the Gregori in the Bible is a race of beings that were like the Watchers, that were the fucking people that came down, the fallen angels. The Gregori are basically the same thing. They're thought forms from another realm. And they came down and they started having fucking sex with the women here. And then the women became witches, because witches were the bitches of the Watchers, right? And then those witches had kids, guys and girls. That's why guys can be witches too. But, you know, that's what they are in the Bible. They're demonized. They're these demons that God's henchmen initially, and then because of what they did wrong, God fucking banishes them and puts them away. But I think it's really just thought forms, and they have all the attributes of a thought form. All these things are having sex with women. Well, was it women were really getting knowledge from them, and then you burnt the women for being witches, and then you just assumed that, they were getting information from the Watchers, and then you wrote a bunch of stories in the books about how these beings came down and gave the women the knowledge, because you don't believe that when anybody should know the truth, that they can channel information at any time and be smarter than your ass, especially women, because men have a problem with women being smarter than us, but they are. They're more intuitive. They're the stronger gender. I mean, they kick our ass in every aspect of the game, except for maybe being positive emotion and shit like that. I think it's easier for a guy to be all love and light, to be honest. I really think it is. I think it's harder for a girl too, because they have to deal with more bullshit, from the bullshit we put them through, from the bullshit they've been put through by their own gender, from the bullshit that society puts them through, from the bullshit that Mother Nature initiates them into. And it's because she has to initiate them. They have to be stronger, so they get an automatic initiation, whereas we don't. We really have to earn this shit. We really have to put ourselves through hell to get the fucking golden nugget at the end of the fucking rainbow, or whatever it is. But, and I'm not saying girls don't put themselves through hell during their initiations either. They don't. They do. There's a reason why priestess is way more prominent in witchcraft. At least it used to be. I think it still is, to be honest. And women traditions and Dianics and shit like that. I mean, there's a lot about Diana, the moon. I mean, it's so important. There's only 2 of them, and there's all those other ones. Well, it's because you only need 2 fucking girl planets. Because between the 2 of them, they're more powerful than the other fucking 5. You need 5 guy planets. And, you know, technically Mercury's a half and half, you know, so. But that's why Mercury's so fucking powerful. That's why Mercury's the magician. because you have to be in touch with both your sides and use them both equally to do this shit right. Because if you're imbalanced, if you're all woman, well, not going to work. But you're better off being all woman than all man. I'll tell you that much. But you need both sides. Probably a little bit more woman than man, but you need both. Anyways, this is a whole bunch of shit that I don't know if it even matters or anybody needs to know, but I'm just talking, I guess. But yeah, since I've been wearing this and doing this, I mean, things just happen. I'm not even doing much ritual work right now, and I know that's a mistake. Like physical ritual work, I'm doing it all in my head, you know. And I do magic on a daily basis within my head, but not without giving offerings and showing my respect. I'll go to my altar, light a candle, offer it to somebody without even writing something on it, you know what I mean, that I want. Like, because wanting all the time, being thankful for something that's already happened, you probably can and get away with it because it is all within you. But nonetheless, I still feel you need to show a little bit of devotion, a little bit of fucking respect to these things, or else, you know, you won't get the respect back. All right. And so, I'm because of that, because of all the success I've been having, and I attribute it, not all of it, to the necklace and me taking on the Illuminati fucking thought form, personification, pretending I am Illuminati, affirming that I am Illuminati, and I get to have all that energy for me, myself, and I. But, you know, just for my magic going right more than it's been going wrong. For everything that I've gotten recently that's been amazing and worked out to like the utmost best of my ability, like it's been incredible, to say the least. It's been fucking incredible. So between my son fucking up and stealing a lot of food and us finding it all in his room, him having the one room that I put a lock on the door when it was my workout room, and then that came in handy when it was also my temple. So it was both my temple and my workout room. So that came in pretty fucking handy, and it's still on there. But then I gave it to him, and it's a special door, right? This door is a smaller door because it's in my basement, but you know, I left the handle on there. Didn't give him the key, but he was still locking it when he was in there, and now we know why. He was hiding a whole bunch of shit that he was taking from the fridge at night. So the nights he couldn't take anything, and I mean, he was literally taking stuff like every night that he could. And then when he had 1 or 2 days a week that me and my wife stayed up late and we were in the living room, or when we slept in the living room, I always hear him. And I tell myself to hear them if they come upstairs, right? And my body listens to me. When I tell it to wake me up, I normally wake up. Problem is I forget to tell it to wake me up. But nonetheless, he would have enough food down there for those nights. But he would come up every night. He had a stockpile of shit. And he was grabbing shit from the fridge and freezer that fucking melted, like popsicles that he was trying to store for later. It's like, when you're 12, you didn't think about that? Well, just drink the juice. What the fuck, man? So, as a result, he got the boot. Where the playroom area was, where the TV was, where the Xbox is, where the futon was, is now his bedroom. Closets and everything are all out of there. So I have everything out of the room. I'm in the process of making checkerboards everywhere, all over the walls, basically, because it's going to be all black and white. My favorite colors are black and white, which aren't colors. But since I've been a kid, well, red too. Black, white, and red. And my chart doesn't have a lot of fire element in it, as I've said before. Probably why I like the color red, because I lack fire. I lack that willpower to stick up for myself, you know. It takes a lot to make me upset, but when I do go upset, I fucking fly off the deep end. And it's because I've always had this pent up anger because I don't let it out. I'd rather let people walk all over me. I'd rather take the loss than be assertive and make someone else take the loss, because then I feel like I don't deserve it. I feel like I deserve to take the losses more than someone else deserves to take the loss. You know what I mean? I don't like people getting bullied, even though I was a bully for a little bit as well. So, it comes and goes. That's back when I was a Christian and I was fucking all fucking, you know, high fucking arrogance, you know, because I was a Christian. I believed in God. And I would use that if someone didn't believe in God, it'd give me a reason to kick their ass. It's like, how stupid is that? But I'm telling you, that Bible is made that way. That's why I say people have a point when they say that, you know, the Bible is made in such a way that it doesn't make you better, it makes you kind of worse. Right, so all that was to say that I'm making a new temple room. And within my temple room, it's going to be my kid's old room, which was initially my old temple room. And we had trouble with lights in the room there. That was the room where the fire almost started, where the light switch is. A lot of activity in that room. And that's why. I have a lot of built up energy already in there. So it kind of makes sense to bring it back to my temple room. Because of the fact that, a lot of weird shit happens in that room because of, it being my temple once before. So anyways, then I don't have Masonic floors, the black and white means polarity and all that. People just think it's some devil shit because it's in the Masons and all these other places. But really, it just shows polarity. It's showing that you embrace both sides of it. I mean, it's all up to you what you want to make of that. You don't have to fucking go along with the general consensus, even though the collective, our collective, not another collective, but our collective has its own spirit of itself, okay? The collective is all of what we all attribute, all the definitions, everybody, and not just the collective of like Canada or United States or pop culture, but like the entire fucking world has a collective. And that thing has its own spirit of its own. And you can come in contact with your own collective, your mind, your consciousness can come in contact with that. Not your conscious mind, but your subconscious is connected to that. That's how it gets its information. But then, it needs to, anyways, I don't know why I'm talking about that. But point is, I'm taking my temple back. I'm going to be putting my altars all up in there. I got an altar in every direction. Now, technically, within my curriculum, I'm not supposed to have an altar in every direction. But my witchcraft that I do kind of calls for it. And I use that within witchcraft. Now, that's one of the things that drew me to witchcraft. And say what you want about it. And you're probably right if you do say, well, it's because I'm doing things above my grade. And I am. But when I do those things that are above my grade, I'm not doing it in the sense of just doing it, just to do it. Fuck it, I'm going this way. I'm not doing it just to fucking do it and be ahead of my time and try to manifest things. I follow my curriculum to the letter. But there are certain things that I need to call on specific elements, especially whenever I get information or I talk to a deity and I'm told I pissed off an earth element. Well, at least I did the earth grade already, but a water element. I've had plumbing issues before, and I never really thought about it this way, even though I heard Frederick Xavier talk about it. He's had issues with rogue water elements before, and, I have as well. And the plumbing in my house has gotten fucked right up because of it. And, it sucks a dick whenever that happens. I mean, literally, I solder something back together, it breaks. I solder something back together, it breaks. Okay, well, maybe I suck at soldering. Let's get a professional in. Professional comes in, it breaks. Professional comes in and changes all the fucking piping, it breaks. So then he takes it upon himself to say, well, you know what, guys, I don't know what's going on, but I'll take the fall for this. I won't charge you for any of this work or whatever, which was great. Got it all fixed for free, but then it still broke again. And it wasn't until I fucking said what I had to say, then I fixed it myself, that it actually took. Like, how do you explain that? Rogue water element. Because, and I mean, if it would have just eventually fixed on its own by itself, and I never talked to the element and gave it offering and whatever else, this is what people think sometimes. They think they're cursed. And I mean, in some ways it kind of is a curse, but in other ways it's just you pissing off an elemental that you didn't even know you pissed off, basically, by disrespecting it, by doing something you shouldn't have done. You could be pissing in a pool maybe, and if that pool is a holy enough pool, or anyways, no, I don't know if that would do it, but I didn't get the information of how I did it. But anyways, so point is, there's certain times where you got to do certain things. And how do you give an offering to a rogue water element if you haven't done that thing yet? Well, I mean, you can go to your altar in the east. If you only have one altar, technically you can. But I don't know. I found it more beneficial to do it like that. And that's where witchcraft came in handy for me. Because, and I mean, loophole or just, cheating, call it what it is. But, neophyte, you're not supposed to really be calling stuff to you. Which I didn't, but I was implanting stuff into my subconscious mind. They were using sigils and candle magic, and I was getting results. And I understand why they don't want you to do that, because if you start doing that, you start getting results with it, you're not going to finish the curriculum. And you need to finish the curriculum. because there's certain things you need to know that you wouldn't know that are going to be beneficial. Because like being able to manifest stuff is all great, fine, and dandy, but if you don't know all the knowledge there is to know about this curriculum and you just start manifesting, well then, yeah, it's not going to last, and you're not going to transform, and therefore you're stuck manifesting your whole fucking life the hard way. Whenever there's easier ways to know, like I wouldn't be able to be doing half the stuff I could do if I hadn't continued. I haven't done the curriculum yet, but if I didn't go on, let's say I just stayed in the neophyte and I never advanced to earth, and then I didn't pass the earth grade, well, I wouldn't know how to take care of health and my finances the way I am. Not just doing a fucking simple sigil to get money, and then I blow all that money, and then I gotta do another sigil after sigil, and who knows if that would even last the test of time. So it's important to, explore all aspects. So that's why I incorporated witchcraft, because of many things, but that's one of the reasons I incorporated witchcraft, because I think it's important to do that, to expand. So that I think I started doing witchcraft stuff whenever I started having manifestation happen during my neophyte, before I finished the neophyte, but basically around the time I finished it. And this is kind of how I knew I was ready to go into the earth grade, because I was having luck with manifestation, and I had all the checklists complete from the book. But it was just I don't know. There's a lot of reasons things that contributed to that, but I still go back to my Kabbalah, because it's all about self-transformation. It's not Kabbalah and the great work of manifestation. It's Kabbalah and the great work of self-transformation. You transform the inside to get results on the outside. So you put a sigil in your mind, you get the money, great. But if you didn't transform the outside, that money's still going to be pissed away and you're not going to do anything. So let's say you try to get a business so that money can stay within you. Instead of manifesting the 10 grand, you manifest a way to continuously make the 10 grand. But if you don't transform and you're still polarized and you're doing things from a polarized perspective, then you're not going to be able to maintain that business. Hence why I haven't created a super stable way to continuously make money. Hence why I'm still working a job, because I'm still working on transformation. And I truly believe, because I was the same way, I believe that working a 9 to 5 was slavery. We're all fucking slaves in this sense. And then I came to a realization that, well, maybe in a past life I was a slave owner. I don't know. I have no way of knowing that. I've never did past life regression the way you're supposed to do it. I tried to do it myself and had very small successes, but successes nonetheless. And because of that, I found out a couple things. Oh yeah? Alright, so just so I can finish this up so I can publish it, I guess. I won't get into my past life regression because, well, truth be told, I asked for past life regression for a while, and I got a couple dreams, very similar dreams, and it was me in a past life, but there's no way to know if that dream was accurate or inaccurate. And I never really continued pursuing that. So I'm basically coming to the realization that whatever I did in the past life, I'm going to work out the karma either way, so knowing it's not really going to serve me anything. But no, what I came to believe and come to find out was just basically that we all have karma to pay, and if your karma is tied into having to work in a 9 to 5, well, that's going to be your destiny. And if not, well, when you do a self-initiation path, you start working on yourself, self-transforming. Basically, you're going to find your passion within whatever you're doing. You're going to unlock that passion, and you're going to be able to find it. It might take time to get there. You might have to go through maybe a little bit of hell on earth. Maybe you have to go through the underworld first to make your way out, but ultimately you're going to get there. As long as you have the determination and the discipline to stick to it, whether it's a curriculum, whether it's a book, whether it's just practices, whether it's learning from a teacher, who knows. But ultimately, there is some karma to pay, and I decided to go to work for myself. I decided to not be a victim anymore and just blame me having to work 9 to 5 and not trying to find a way out of it. Because if you're going to sit there and work a job, but then complain that you're working a job, and that's slavery, and Inky and Anu and the Anunnaki, it's all their fault. They want gold, and that's why we work. It's like, really, if you really want to stop working, you can start saving, go back to school,
and do something, or you can start doing stuff online and learning how to do correspondences after work, or whatever the case is. You can find a way out of your job, you know, or do like I'm doing, do a self-transformation course at the same time, teach about it, and then, or at least try to help others going through the same course or similar courses, and then who knows, the energy from the people watching you can help your magic. You can also manifest things to help it along, and you know, life is good. So yeah, that's basically where that went, and I don't really know. I've talked about so many things that they're probably all open-ended, and there's no reason by going back over them, so I'm just going to end it here, but I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a good day.